a lot of multiplayer modes, very popular multiplayer modes in Bad Fur Day. Heist, which was a 4-player deathmatch, which involved the 4 weasels. The general idea was to run into the centre of a maze, collect the bag of money, and take it back to your start point. You started off with baseball bats, but dotted around the maze were all the big weapons like all the machine guns and the crossbow and the rocket launcher, which you could go and try and destroy the person before they made it back to their base, and then the money would jump its way back and you could go and capture it again. There was a capture the flag game where you were into Teddy versus Squirrel bases, and you had to run into the other person's base, capture their flag, and run back with it. But there were all sorts of little hideaway sections and little tunnels which you could go through, and they had all the different classic Conker weapons, including the very popular katana, where you can go around and lop people's heads off and run around and use the machine guns to shoot people's heads off and blow them up with rocket launchers and all sorts of fun stuff. There was a multiplayer mode called Tank, where you obviously play tanks and you could drive around the level and try and shoot each other. And you had to collect gas stuff that you could collect, and you had to get it back to the centre of the base. And if you managed to get back to the centre of the base, you gassed everybody else. So it was the first person to collect the canister and get it to the centre. One called Raptor, set in sort of prehistoric times, where one team were the cavemen who could run around with their clubs, and they had to run into the dinosaur raptor nests and steal the eggs and bring them back to a great big frying pan where you'd cook them and eat the eggs. And the other team played the dinosaurs themselves, who would come and try and get them, stop the cavemen by eating them. You could grab them and rip their heads and throw them around and try and be protected from the spears and the clubs that could be fired your way by the cavemen. One of the multiplayers was called Race, and that was the race section from the main game. But this time you were playing as the Ugga Bugga guys, and you could have up to 4 people racing around and trying to avoid all the dinosaurs and just racing against each other. So you had a bat, I believe, which was the thing you had, which you could use against each other. I can't remember that one either. I don't think I wrote it, would you? The Beach, which was a really interesting idea, where it was the Teddies versus some French villagers with the squirrels. If you were the Teddies, you started at one end of the beach, and you could either have one of 3 different turrets where you could go up to, and one had a big sit-down machine gun. Another one had the sniper rifle, and the other one had a rocket launcher in it. You could all sit and take pot shots of people running up the beach. If you were a peasant, you just had to keep and run and try and get up to the door at the other end. But anytime you got killed, you just got reset back and you had to keep running up. It was very one-sided, but felt very Saving Private Ryan-esque, as you had to run up the beach and try and go against overwhelming odds against the Teddies and save as many peasants as you could. About halfway up the beach was a plunger, and if you managed to get to that and hit the plunger, it set off some explosives, and that would allow you to just break up the attack for a moment and allow you to get some more people up the beach. The multiplayer on Conker was really well received. We have people talking about it still today as being some of the greatest multiplayer levels put together. I think there's something special about it being 4-player local multiplayer where everyone could sit down and play them, and certainly ones like War and Beach and Heist were just some really fantastic little multiplayer games, and we were very proud of them.
Enjoy that? Like, subscribe and maybe pick up Rare Replay to start your own Squirrel Stampede. If you're sticking around, check out some of the other good stuff in the game with our feature showcase. Or, for another taster of bonus content, watch the making of Bad Fur Day's stablemate Banjo-Tooie. Fill your boots!